Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for our first ever Mark Levinson Reveals. My name is Dave Tavissi and I will be the host for today. While we may not be able to meet in person, we are able to broadcast live from our beautiful Harman Experience Center here in Northridge, California. We will be repeating this broadcast at several times during the day to allow for all regions to participate in this global event. For nearly 50 years, Mark Levinson has been engineering and building the finest audio components in our industry, driven by an unwavering belief in the transformative power of music. Today, with everyone spending more time at home, music has been a source of hope. Human beings have always had a profound connection with music. If there is one thing that this pandemic has taught us, it is that music matters, and now more than ever. So why are we here? We brought you all here for the unveiling of our expanded line of the 5000 series of products. The 5000 series launched in June of last year with the introduction of the number 5802 and the number 5805 integrated amplifiers. Since that launch, we have been working passionately to release our first source players and our flagship separates of the series. To help me introduce these new products, I'm joined here at the Experience Center by Jim Garrett, our Senior Director of Product Planning and Strategy, and through the magic of technology and a little help from our IT department, we also have a live feed from Shelton, Connecticut, where Todd Eichenbaum, the Director of Engineering for Mark Levinson, will be speaking to you. A little later in this presentation, we will also be joined by a video feed from the Harman store in New York City, where Carrie Tillman, our Vice President of Brand Development, will walk us through some exciting new brand initiatives. We have a lot of information that we want to share with you over the next 40 minutes. There will be a Q&A session at the end of this presentation where you can ask questions of the Mark Levinson team. Feel free to ask any question at any time. We will be answering them during the Q&A. Without further ado, let's get this event started by turning you over to Todd Eichenbaum at the Mark Levinson Engineering Center in Shelton, Connecticut. He will walk you through how the 5000 series came about and share his thoughts about the 4 products we are launching here today.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here as part of this global live stream event. I'm here in our Engineering Center in Shelton, Connecticut, which is where all of our Mark Levinson products are designed and engineered. This is where our story begins for the products that we'll be showcasing here today. When we created the 5000 series, our challenge was to develop a product line which, even though lower cost than our 500 series that came before it, would offer no less in terms of bringing the full Mark Levinson experience to our customers. In order to realize that, we couldn't simply take things out or cut corners. We had to innovate. So, let's have a look and see how it was done. From the time I was a little kid, I was always fascinated by electronics, but I also lived in a home where I was always surrounded by music. Fast forward to my years in college, and I went for the first time to a high-end audio salon, which was something that existed back then, listened to a Mark Levinson system for the first time. And that, for me, was a life-changing moment. I finally heard what was possible in a 2-channel sound system. The goal when we designed the 500 series was a very personal one for me. It was about recreating my first experience listening to Mark Levinson equipment. Our approach when we began the 500 series was about simplifying circuits. We looked at some of the older designs because we wanted to preserve some of the sonic identity of Mark Levinson. I also wanted to take it into a new direction that was all about making circuits that were simpler, that were easier to produce, trying to get that expansive sound stage, the accuracy of tone, the accuracy of timbre, the dynamics. What we consider our job to be at Mark Levinson is to reveal all of that to the listener. When we started our work on the 500 series, we talked about a science meets art method of approaching the design, and we carried that same thought into the 5000 series. When we first began thinking about the 5000 series, we wanted to capture that same sound quality, but make it available at a lower cost. The way to do that was by innovating. We started with a clean sheet of paper when we began the 5000 series development. The first product that we worked on was the number 5805 integrated amp. We did that because it required all sorts of different functional blocks. It needed a D-to-A converter, it needed a line stage, a phono stage, a power amp. We started from scratch with brand new designs for all of these building blocks. After 2 years, we filed for and received 2 patents on circuit designs that are in the 5805, and the end result was an integrated amp with performance, subjective performance, sound quality, a presentation that was the closest thing we had heard to our 500 series, but at a much lower price. When somebody listens to Mark Levinson equipment for the first time, they're likely to have the same response I did more than 35 years ago, which is to say, I didn't know that 2-channel sound was capable of sounding like this.
We engineer all Mark Levinson products to comply with all international safety standards. And these safety standards are put in place around the world to make sure that the products, when they're used, are safe. HALT is an acronym. It stands for Highly Accelerated Life Testing. A product is actually put into a test chamber where we try to pack all of the things that could happen to this product in its entire lifetime into a few hours of very, very intensive testing. We actually take a perfectly good product and subject it to testing to complete destruction. And we do this to be able to determine, is there any way that we can make this product better? Is there any way that we can make this product more robust for our end customer?
So it goes through a cycle of hot to cold with a vibration of up to a G-force of vibration with this rapid acceleration, rapid cooling, rapid heat, and it's meant to destroy the product. The product is destroyed by us, and that's what HALT is. It's not a mandatory test. It's a test that we choose to do.
Hello everyone, my name is Jim Garrett, and you just heard a little insight from Todd and the development team of what went into the making of our exciting new Mark Levinson 5000 series. When we developed the first products in the range, the number 5805 and number 5802 integrated amplifiers, they were built around the knowledge that we would have a full family of products to support them. And today we're proud to showcase our first 2 5000 series source players and introduce you to 2 new models that will serve as the flagship products for the 5000 series. As many of you may know, the first official Mark Levinson product was a high-performance phono preamplifier called the JC1. It was introduced back in 1972. From that moment, turntables and vinyl records have been an integral part of our brand and a key component of many music lovers' audio systems. Mark Levinson phono preamplifiers have continued to set the bar for performance, as can be seen and heard in our acclaimed pure phono module found in the 500 series components, and the newly designed phono stage found in the number 5805 integrated amplifier. With our expertise in vinyl playback quality well established, we are extremely proud to announce that the initial shipments have just begun on our first 5000 series turntable, the remarkable number 5105. This player is precision crafted from the finest materials and designed to extract every last detail and every subtle nuance from your vinyl collection. Every aspect of the number 5105 exudes Mark Levinson luxury and performance. The chassis is machined from a solid billet of aluminum, as is the platter, and a custom aluminum dual-axis gimbal mount supports a carbon fiber tone arm tube fused to a solid aluminum head shell. A 25mm thick contoured aluminum front panel flows seamlessly into the central glass control display. No detail has been overlooked. Even the platter mat and user guide are delivered in a 12-inch double LP gatefold jacket. If you love vinyl music, you are sure to fall in love with the number 5105.
In the last last decade or so, there's been a resurgence of vinyl as a listening choice.
A lot of listeners really prefer the vinyl format.
The difference is that you're part of the performance. There's some magic to that.
It's something that they can hold. There's great album artwork. It can be shared with friends.
There's a visceral connection between the listener, the album, the artist, and the turntable.
The number 5105 brings turntables back into the world of Mark Levinson in a very big way.
The look, the feel, the touch, the design is absolutely beautiful. It matches our 5000 series.
Like the rest of the 5000 series, we use the same 1-inch thick bead blasted aluminum side panels, the same glass display with metal buttons and a bead blast clear anodized frame. It also has a solid machined aluminum plinth, which we grain finished and black anodized for a really luxurious feel. So the plinth of the 5105 starts as a large rectangular block of aluminum and gets cut out so every circuit board and every piece has its own pocket. It's not assembled out of pieces, it is one piece. Number 5105 doesn't need knobs, so instead we took their hourglass profile and applied them to the record weight and the tone arm gimbal.
The tone arm in the number 5105 uses a dual-axis gimbal bearing. That allows the tone arm to move up and down, left and right, but doesn't allow it to twist in any way whatsoever. That's important because it's critical that the cartridge maintains the same relationship to the LP as it travels all the way across the record. When we were selecting a cartridge to go with the number 5105 MC, we did extensive listening tests. What was important was that the cartridge offered a Mark Levinson style presentation. Good soundstage, accurate, dynamic, but also, because a turntable is an all-mechanical system, the cartridge had to work well with the tone arm and well with the rest of the turntable. What we finally decided upon was the Ortofon Quintet Black. In the case of the number 5105, we use carbon fiber in the arm tube because it's extremely lightweight but also extremely rigid.
Happily, I saved all my albums over the years. So I do have an UHQR pressing of Sgt. Pepper's, and the detail that you hear in that album, you hear things in the music that you've never heard before. It is an emotional experience.
The sound of it is absolutely amazing. Having collected vinyl for 40 years, having just under 3,000 albums, listening to the vinyl, it's amazing. Everybody will love this turntable.
The number 5105 is that connection between the function and the beauty where science meets art.
The resurgence we're seeing today in vinyl listening has been a wonderful thing, but we're also living in the age of high-resolution digital music. From physical formats like CDs and SACDs to the seemingly endless amount of streaming audio available right at our fingertips, the sheer volume of digital content easily accessible today is staggering. Bringing that world of premium digital audio together, we are proud to introduce the number 5101 streaming CD player. I know many of you have been eagerly anticipating this one, and we're happy to say it is finally shipping. As the ideal companion to both of the integrated amplifiers, the number 5101 provides users with access to a wide range of digital content playback, from audiophile CD and SACD physical media to high-resolution network streaming. Based on our newly developed Precision Link 2 DAC and mated with our PurePath analog output stage, the sound quality of the number 5101 is simply superb. Beyond physical discs and network streaming, there are a number of additional digital inputs including USB, optical, and coaxial, plus compatibility with our Music Life control app. And it does it all with the luxurious build quality and remarkable performance you expect from a Mark Levinson product. Let's take a look at the number 5101 in depth and discover the features and capabilities of this sophisticated streaming CD player.
In the last few years, internet streaming has been the predominant way that people consume music and other audio content, whether it's podcasts or internet radio or high-resolution music streaming services. Some people store their entire music library on a network-connected drive, a USB drive, or they have other digital playback devices.
Digital is the most convenient way to distribute music.
Still, others have large collections of CDs and physical media like SACDs that they've invested in over the years and cherish. The Mark Levinson number 5101 is a premium solution for all of these scenarios. It's a high-resolution network streamer, SACD player, and a standalone DAC. It's designed to deliver the best possible quality, unlocking the full potential of the recording.
Digital recording technology over the last several decades has really evolved and improved. The extra bandwidth, the extra dynamic range allows an end user to really hear what was in the studio or what was in the concert hall, and especially with a component like the number 5101, which is capable of reproducing all these native formats.
The number 5101 has a lot of ways to get music into it. There's streaming, there's digital inputs, and you could even get data off a NAS drive or a flash drive.
The digital engine in the number 5101 feeds the Precision Link 2 DAC that we developed for the 5000 series. The Precision Link 2 DAC is able to take in both PCM and DSD signals natively, so it can convert them exactly as they were intended to be converted. PCM looks at the absolute value of the signal at every sample. SACD and DSD look at the differences between samples instead, so fewer bits, but happening much more frequently. A lot of listeners feel that this has a more analog-like sound. We not only put a lot of attention into the electronic design and performance of the unit, but as you can see, we paid great attention to the physical details.
Number 5101 doesn't have any front panel knobs, so we wanted to lower the height and make a sleeker looking product. It was a challenge, but behind the stacked glass, we fit the red display, a row of machined aluminum buttons, and an SACD drive. To accommodate the SACD player, we chose a slot loading drive so that we could just do a simple slot in the glass and keep the display nice and clean and uncluttered.
The number 5101 also offers the end user a choice of different digital filters for both DSD and for PCM playback. There isn't any one correct choice. However, each one of these filters can offer a very subtle difference in the sonic presentation, and an end user might prefer different filters for different types of music.
The Music Life streaming app allows you to choose one of the popular streaming systems to play on the number 5101. We chose the app as the primary user interface because it's quick to make changes if the streaming service changes their format or a new streaming service comes available.
The sophisticated engineering involved to create such a versatile, high-performance product was recognized by our peers with the CES Innovation Award, and the luxurious industrial design was recognized by the internationally acclaimed IF Design Award. The number 5101 packs innovative technology into a luxurious industrial design. With true Mark Levinson playback quality of almost any digital source, convenience of app control, and award-winning design, the number 5101 is an essential part of a complete 5000 series system.
Now we have two integrated amplifiers, a turntable, and our streaming CD player as part of the 5000 series. The next step is to take performance even further with our flagship 5000 series components, both of which will be available before the end of the year. Introducing the number 5206 preamplifier. As the heart of a high-performance audio system, a dedicated preamplifier is a critical component, and the number 5206 is ready to unlock the full potential of your music. We've taken all of the connectivity and features found in our integrated amplifiers and added even more capability along with sonic enhancements that make the number 5206 a truly extraordinary preamplifier. While the front panel certainly looks and feels familiar with its elegant Mark Levinson design DNA, it's around back where you will discover the extent of the changes. There are 4 analog line stage inputs, including 2 balanced XLR connectors, moving coil and moving magnet inputs for the phono stage, and 6 digital inputs for the high-resolution Precision Link 2 DAC. The number 5206 also includes a Bluetooth receiver equipped with aptX HD, enabling the highest quality Bluetooth playback available. Back around front, there's a headphone jack for use with our main drive headphone circuitry, ready for you to enjoy a private listening session. There are certainly a lot more details to this product, so let's hear from the design team.
A preamp is at the heart of any audio system, receiving digital and analog signals and routing them through the appropriate signal path. The Mark Levinson engineering team goes through extensive lengths to make sure that the signal is not only preserved, but the conditions are in place to unlock the full potential of the recording.
The number 5206, of course, is based heavily on the platform we developed for the number 5805 integrated. It makes use of the work we did on the design of the line stage and the digital to analog converter. Those two building blocks in particular have 2 patents on circuit designs that are utilized in them. What we did was to repurpose those building blocks, but by putting them into the number 5206, having a separate component, we were able to do some additional work, hot rodding, so to speak, the power supply in the unit, adding another stage of regulation, and adding some very extensive shielding inside the unit. That allows us to minimize noise and maximize the sonic performance of all of those building blocks inside. Inside the number 5206 is a dedicated transformer. All it has to do is to power the analog circuitry in the preamp. That particular transformer is completely encapsulated. It's surrounded on all sides by 3 layers of silicon steel shielding. It is both mechanically and electrically very quiet, and it's able to produce a lot of power because the number 5206 runs in full Class A. In the number 5206, we're using an additional stage of linear regulation for all of the audio circuitry. So our nice big encapsulated toroidal transformer powers its very own set of voltage regulators, which in turn feed all of the regulators on the analog stages. That gives a much quieter, more stable DC voltage for the critical analog circuits. In addition, there's a switching power supply that runs all of the digital circuitry. That provides us with much better efficiency and much lower power consumption when the unit's in standby. It's really a combination of the best of both worlds.
We wanted the number 5206 preamplifier to be lower profile than the 5805, despite having the same front panel, knobs, and button array. The interior structural parts present a clean interior, but their primary function is to provide shielding between the power supplies, digital circuits from the analog circuits. There's aluminum, steel, and silicon steel shields, all located in size for optimal performance.
The number 5206 offers many digital input choices. There's an AES input, which is a balanced connection, considered very reliable, robust. There are 2 coaxial inputs, 2 optical inputs, as well as an asynchronous USB input. That asynchronous USB input can handle all kinds of high-res formats. In addition, there's also a Bluetooth input capable of aptX HD. Now, some people would argue that Bluetooth is not a great high-resolution medium. Why would you include it? The fact is, Bluetooth is a great way for people to share their music, so why not include it, but make it sound the best that we can?
The number 5206 has even more system control and integration flexibility with IP, RS-232, and rear IR. You could also import and export configuration data from the internal web page directly.
We designed the number 5206 to be very flexible. It offers a home theater pass-through feature, which allows it to be integrated into a home theater system. We've also included a discrete high-pass filter, which allows the preamp to be integrated as part of a 2.1 system. The number 5206 has input relays for all of its signal sources. These connect only the signal source that you're listening to, and they physically disconnect all the other signal sources. That prevents crosstalk, interaction between the sources, and helps break up ground loops.
One of the best things about the number 5206 is that as soon as I plug my headphones into the front jack of the preamplifier, that preamplifier turns into a headphone amplifier. There's no reason to have a separate headphone amplifier in the unit because all your investment in that preamplifier circuitry is used to bring the ultimate detail to when you're listening to headphones.
With 2 patents awarded, a pure path Class A line stage, the Precision Link 2 DAC, the number 5206 is packed full of features and performance.
preamplifier as good as the number 5206 should be paired with an equally capable amplifier. One that can take those pristine output signals and deliver powerful dynamics and crystal clear sound from your loudspeakers. As the second flagship component in the 5000 series, I am pleased to present to you the number 5302 amplifier. Based upon the Class AB amplifier module we created for the number 5805 and the number 5802, the number 5302 is even more powerful thanks to a larger power supply, optimized circuit designs, and large external heat sinks. Rated at 135 watts per channel into 8 ohms, the number 5302 can also be configured to operate in a bridged mono mode, and in that configuration it can deliver 275 watts into 8 ohms and 550 watts into 4 ohms. Like the other 5000 series components, the number 5302 has a simply beautiful design, including a contoured aluminum front panel with a central glass control display and custom designed heatsink fins. You'll also notice the machined aluminum handles on the front, which are not only useful, but an attractive part of the luxurious appearance. With the flexibility to serve as a stereo or a mono amplifier, the power to drive virtually any loudspeaker, and the peerless sound quality of a Mark Levinson audio product, the number 5302 confidently completes the 5000 series component range.
The amplifier is the final stage of the signal path. It needs to power the loudspeakers. It needs to have plenty of available power to respond to the needs and the dynamics of the material.
The output stage was designed specifically to tolerate a wide range of loudspeaker impedance variations.
The number 5302 achieves this with a bridgeable Class AB design.
The amplifier industrial design for me is a great distillation of where Mark Levinson has been and kind of where we're going. The handles are a beautiful new design that we've implemented for this series of product.
They're each machined out of solid aluminum and blasted to match the knobs on the preamplifier.
What I really like about the number 5302 is its flexibility. Sonically superb. The bass you get out of that amplifier and the width of image is truly amazing.
The number 5302 was designed specifically for bridged mono operation in addition. When we select that mode of operation, we use a different set of windings on the transformer, which are optimized for mono. And under those conditions, the number 5302 will deliver 275 watts into 8 ohms or 550 watts mono into 4 ohms. By making the number 5302 bridgeable, we're also offering great flexibility. A customer could buy a 5302, use it as a stereo amp, and later purchase a second unit and run both of them in bridged mono.
You could even use it with an integrated amplifier like the 5805 and use it as a biamp situation where it's driving the low end, your 5805, and a biamp is driving the top end. There's a lot of ways you can use the number 5302.
The number 5302 amplifier is, of course, based extensively on the platform development we did for the number 5805 integrated amp. However, the number 5302 allows us to use a much bigger power supply. It's important to think of the power supply in an amplifier as being what provides the power to the speakers themselves, with the amplifier circuit sort of functioning as a faucet controlling that power.
Most other amplifiers only have a power button. The number 5302 has IP, RS-232, and a 12-volt trigger to turn it on and off. We also have an internal system web page that an advanced user can use to see the status operation of the unit. Number 5302 and all of our amplifiers have a processor in it that does sensing of all the communications, but there's also a lot of work done by the processor to take care of safety features in the unit, make sure it doesn't get too hot, there's not too much current being pulled out of it.
So in a power amplifier, especially one with a lot of Class A bias, like the number 5302, we need some good heat sinks. As you'll notice, the heat sinks are external, they're robust, they're nice to look at, they're beautifully finished.
The external heat sinks look great and perform great, and they give the amplifier a powerful appearance that is form following function.
With cosmetic-grade heat sinks, a glass display, and solid aluminum handles, the number 5302 blends harmoniously with the rest of the 5000 series, at the crossroads of where science meets art.
With the introduction of these 4 new products today, our 5000 series has expanded to a total of 6 models. You now have the ability to create a variety of system configurations to suit the needs and desires of music lovers around the world. Our 5000 series components deliver class-leading features and connectivity, robust build quality and reliability, and peerless audio performance, all wrapped up in a luxurious design. When you combine these models with our existing upscale 500 series components and the brand campaigns and activities you'll hear about next, there has simply never been a better time to be a Mark Levinson dealer.
As you can see now, we have a full complementary range of products in the 5000 series. And a range like that deserves a comprehensive marketing plan to support them. We are committed to making you as successful in launching these products as ever. We are backing that commitment up with millions of dollars in marketing investments. With that in mind, I would like to introduce you to Carrie Tillman, the Vice President of Global Brand Development for Harman. She is joining us from the Harman store in New York City. Over to you, Carrie.
Thank you, Dave. It's great to be joining you for this announcement and to talk to you all about the exciting work that we're doing to support the Mark Levinson brand and the products that are launching. You know, the new products were created to reach a broader target and bring in new consumers to the brand. I mean, think about it. State-of-the-art turntables and streaming audio players, they're perfect for today's consumers. We know that great brands take great product design, great engineering, great audio technology. But what the truly great brands can do is they tell a great story. Mark Levinson's on a journey to show that it can unlock a deeper appreciation for the sound for consumers. It's going to tell that story through a new brand campaign called Hear It Here, Only Here, and consumer activations we're calling Mark Levinson Reveals. From social media to virtual and, when possible, in-person events to advertising, consumers are going to learn how Mark Levinson audio can change their listening experience. We're partnering with influencers that embody what Mark Levinson stands for to help drive excitement. And with these new assets, all of our partners can help us share the story and reach out to those new consumers. An important aspect is our website. We are launching a new website that will highlight the audio expertise that goes into Mark Levinson products and invite consumers to learn and explore all that Mark Levinson can offer with new educational tools and editorial content. And an exciting addition is the added Find a Dealer feature to help the consumer all the way through their purchase. Mark Levinson's on a journey, and it's just beginning. With new products, new outreach, and renewed focus, Mark Levinson is positioned to reinvigorate the luxury audio experience. I'm glad I was able to be here with you today, and I'm going to send it back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm really excited about the direction that you and your team are taking with the Mark Levinson brand. Now that you've had the opportunity to preview our new 5000 series products and the marketing initiatives that Carrie has just outlined, we hope that you agree that there's never been a better time to be a Mark Levinson dealer. I can see a couple of you have already posted your questions during the presentation. To remind everyone else, you can now type your questions into the Q&A panel, which appears in the chat section of your event screen. We will try to answer all of your questions on this broadcast. However, if we do not respond to your questions live, we will answer it in a follow-up correspondence shortly after the conclusion of this event. Tina Lights, our marketing manager for Harman Lifestyle Audio, has played a crucial part in this planning of this event. She is also here to assist us in gathering and posting your questions to our Mark Levinson team. Tina, we are ready when you are.
So we have our first question. Can you describe the difference between the number 5101 and the 519?
It's a great question. Probably the one who's best equipped to answer that is my colleague here, Jim Garrett. Jim, you want to give it a shot?
Sure, yeah. So there's a number of differences between the 5101 and the 519. At their core, they're based upon different, what we would call a streaming engine. So the core hardware platform is different between them. The number 519 is a little more advanced. All the streaming services are native to the box. You can also see on the front panel that it's got a very large full color display that shows album art and all the metadata, whereas the 5101 is more of a two-line display. You also find a number of additional inputs available on the 519. The DAC has 6 inputs on it, so you've got a little more flexibility on what you can do with the product. And a couple of additional features, the ability to do its own volume control and whatnot. It can also fully render MQA files, and it can serve as a Roon endpoint. Both of those products are easily controlled by an app. We've got our Music Life app that works with the 5101. There's a dedicated app for the 519. So a lot of similarities in that respect. Both will play physical discs and both do a lot of streaming audio through the high-res Precision Link DAC.
Great, thank you, Jim. Next question. Will we be able to see this again on your YouTube channel?
Absolutely. After the conclusion of this event, we will be downloading it to our YouTube channel, the Mark Levinson YouTube channel, and we will also be sending a link out to all of our attending group. So be looking forward to a follow-up correspondence with a link to this recording as well.
Are these products all available now?
I'll let Jim answer that one again, since you're responsible for the strategy.
Yeah, so the number 5101 streaming CD player is shipping now. There are units that have already made it through the warehouse in the US for that. The number 5105 turntable is on its way to the warehouse now, so should be shipping probably in the next 30 to 45 days. And then the two flagship products we have here, the preamp and amplifier, will be available before the end of the year.
Great, thank you. Next question. Does the number 5101 work with an app?
Well, since Todd is sitting patiently in our Shelton, Connecticut offices, so Todd, you want to take that one?
Sure. The 5101 does work, as Jim alluded to, works with the Music Life app for controlling streaming, using streaming services or streaming from a NAS drive. And it also works with the Mark Levinson 5K, the 5 Control app, which controls the functionality of all of the 5000 series products.
Great, thank you. Next question. When does the new website go live?
Yeah, that was an impressive website that Carrie just showed. We are planning on launching that on November 19th. So we're excited. I think you'll be pleased with how we've redefined the website. So November 19th.
Great, thank you, Dave. So Steve from TD Mag asks, what is the center channel solution for direct micro displays?
Well, Steve, while we don't currently do any speakers, I will defer again to Jim, who's product planning, and do you have something in the works?
Yeah, as far as the products today, Mark Levinson is an exclusively 2-channel hi-fi audio brand, so we don't do any multi-channel products, we don't do video, and we don't do loudspeakers. So I guess the long way around there is no center channel solution because we don't do multi-channel video with the brand right now. So maybe someday in the future, but not with any of the products currently in the portfolio.
Excellent. Next question. How will you be expanding your messaging to reach a younger audience than traditional audiophiles?
Another great question. As you saw in our update with Carrie, we are doing more of a lifestyle approach to our marketing. So whether it's the Mark Levinson Reveals, whether it's our campaign Hear It Here, Only Here, or if it's even in the way we're approaching our website. Our collateral is meant to attract a different customer to our dealers, and we're putting a lot of money behind that to back that up. So we're looking at a much younger demographic for the brand.
Excellent. Next question. Any other 5000 series products in development?
I'll take that one, and I'll pass it over to Todd and Jim as well. Product development with Mark Levinson is usually 18 months to 2 years in advance. So we are working on products right now. We are working on expanded products of the 5000 series and some additional products that we have. As you know, we're getting close to our 50th anniversary. So in 2022 will be the 50-year anniversary of Mark Levinson. So we have some pretty special products saved up for that. So you're going to have to go to the next year's Mark Levinson reveal to see that. But Jim, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's, yeah, obviously we can't necessarily speak to future products, but we have a lot of really exciting things that are in the works, and I think you'll be seeing more events like this coming up. And as Dave mentioned, you know, with the 50-year anniversary coming for the brand, that's a pretty major milestone, and I think we're working on some pretty cool stuff to share with you guys for the upcoming Mark Levinson Reveals events.
Okay, next question. Crestron, Josh AI, C4, Savant, and similar integration?
Todd, you want to take that one?
I'll do my best. So all of the 5000 products, of course, with the exception of the Turntable, do have IP control available on them. So should be a relatively straightforward matter to integrate them with home automation controllers. And Jim, if you'd like to elaborate more, by all means.
Yeah, I think just to follow up what Todd said, yeah, IP control was a part of the platform when we developed it. At least the major third-party controls that we've looked at with Control 4, Crestron Home, Savant, you'll be able to have those modules. And I think you heard Todd mention earlier too, we do have the Mark Levinson 5K control app that'll allow all of the products to be run via the IP ports on the back as well. So if there's a demand for additional services, we're certainly more than willing to look into it, see if we can add those to the mix.
Great. What are the hardest aspects for the Shelton team to tackle in the development of the 5000 series?
Well, that's a great question. And Todd, since you're in Shelton, what are those aspects?
How much time do we have? The hardest aspects when we were in the 5000 series development was how do we had to address obviously some challenges with retail prices, which we knew had to be lower than the 500 series to reach a different customer. But how do we deliver everything that is a Mark Levinson experience? How do we deliver the build quality? How do we deliver the performance? And every aspect of the performance. I know we talk about science meets art, but the measurements have to be great, and the listening experience has to be unforgettable. And every product it's about starting with this vision of where do we have to go with the cost, the appearance, knowing that we want to offer this tremendous listening experience, and making a whole lot of design decisions and considering a number of trade-offs so that we can get to where we got. It's why our team's design work on this and 500 series has yielded a bunch of patents. But hey, this is also why we wake up in the morning. This is these challenges are great fun.
Okay, next question. Are you planning any distribution changes to better reach a broader market with this more affordable audiophile line of Mark Levinson?
I can answer that one. Our U.S. sales team is diligently working with our current and potentially future dealers and distribution. So that question will be addressed with our sales team, and I'm sure there's plenty of questions that'll come up on our next session, which is with the dealers and distributors. But we are looking to expand the portfolio of who sells our products, is probably the short answer.
Does the number 5105 play Apple lossless files?
Well, I think there may be a misunderstanding. The 5105 is a turntable, but it could be, we'll talk about the 5101 perhaps.
I think, yeah, maybe a question for Todd in terms of its file capability.
Hey, Todd, let's approach it from the number 5101.
Assuming that was the question,
Yeah.
yes.
Sure. The 5101 does not play Apple lossless ALAC files. Having said that, it plays just about every other format. So it will play AIFF, OGG, it'll play WAV files, and of course, also DS, the different DSD formats, so DSF. Really the one that it does not handle is ALAC.
Could you repeat that one?
Is the turntable built in-house?
Oh, great question. As you know, every Mark Levinson product from industrial design and engineering starts with the Shelton, Connecticut group. With this particular product, it required some additional vertical integration. And we looked all over the country and actually all over the world to find a partner who could actually not just procure the parts necessary for this product, but actually build them in-house. And we looked everywhere. We wound up in a very small town in Germany and found the craftsman to be able to put this precision-built machine together for us. So in short, engineered in the United States, assembled by craftsmen in Germany is where we wound up with this product.
And this is kind of further to that question. There was mention of designated in the USA. Where are all the other products being made?
Yeah, again, I think it's always important that every product is designed in our Shelton, Connecticut engineering site. And as we look for whatever the next product will be, we look for the best place to have it manufactured and assembled. And at this moment, we're still dedicated to the United States for all our first choices.
Excellent. So we have time for one more question. Can we get more details on the new approach your marketing team is making with this line and its outreach to new consumers?
Jim, do you want to go ahead and tackle that one?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do with this, of course, the appeal of Mark Levinson products is pretty universal in terms of the sound quality. Anybody that loves music, which is a very wide audience, we're looking to, of course, expand beyond the traditional, what you consider the audiophile type of customer, into the true luxury consumers. I think when you look at the tagline that you saw from the new brand campaigns, you know, part of where that's come from is the consistency of when people listen to our products. Almost every single time we get a lot of the feedback of saying, I've never heard that before. I didn't know that was part of it. Even though I knew that piece of music that so well, I'd never heard that, you know, particular part of it. And for us, that hear it here, only here tagline kind of speaks to that. And I think what you've seen in the samples of the videos that we've shown, and one that we'll still show yet here, kind of really reaching out to that more lifestyle, experiential part of this. It's just music is really something to be shared. It's a community, it's a bond between all humans right now, maybe now more than ever, of course, with the pandemic. So that's the approach that we're really taking with all of the brand messaging, and you'll see it in a new website when it goes live. You'll see it in the social activations that are happening. And I think it's really going to help tremendously broaden the exposure of the brand.
So, with that being said, we thank you all for joining us. It's our first reveals, but there will be many more. As we said, there will be a download of this recording. We will send that out with a future correspondence, and look for it live on the Mark Levinson YouTube channel in a couple short hours from now. So thanks again. Jim?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.